After Dark.
All right. Community After Dark. It is the week of November 9th, and we are here this week with a very, very special guest, Marc Massive from Massive Eagle. So we're so excited to have him on. Very excited. Yes, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on this momentous day in history. So, the first track that I played in my set was by an artist called Christine. She's kind of a bit of an American urban legend. And I played her track called Night Window. It was taken from her 2018 album Basura. The only reason I played it because I wanted to play kind of new things, but I played this one. It's quite old, but she's just released a brand new video, and you have to go to Vimeo. You have to look up Christine, and you need to watch the video for Night Window because it's absolutely mental. It's completely mental. Because Christine is completely mental, but she's kind of fierce. She's American, and she's just really freaky, and I love her. So that's why I played the track. Before that, I played Chris Shape, who's getting 2 plays for his new album on this show. You played one earlier, I think, Mark, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes. So I've just played, it's called Heaven Street, and it's a cover of the 80s Death in June track of the same name.
Wow.
I really liked it, really good. To be honest, I don't really know much about Death in June. They were like a big 80s band. Don't know a lot about them, but kind of heard this track, really liked it. That's on Unknown Pleasure Records. And then before that, I played a track called Deadlights, and it was by a band called Deadlights. They're a UK band, brand new. I think you played one of their tracks a couple of weeks ago. I seem to remember.
Yes, we did.
It's called, the EP is called Death Pop. It came out in September on Pohl Transmission Records. I just love it. They're really fresh, really exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And something interesting, I don't know what they will be coming on our show in December, so I'm excited about that. And the Andreas, who runs Cold Transmission Records, had actually told us that for Deadlights, he said it's going to be very interesting for us to see who the actual singer is behind the band. So that's something to keep in. I don't even know, you know.
There's a whole mystique. There's a whole mystique about who is the singer. I kind of know who the singer is, but obviously I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's a big secret, but I know who he is, and he's very talented, and I like him a lot. So yeah, he's doing really well with this project. People seem to love it. It's very electro. It's very current sounding. It's angry. I like all of those things. So, so that's what I played. A track called Deadlights by a band called Deadlights. Before that, I played Lie Back. Dun, 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 dun. Life is life. The only reason, because it's an old song, the only reason I played it is that Lieback are celebrating 40 years in the industry, which is no mean feat. 40 years in any industry, I think, needs applauding. So that's why I played there. It's a track called Opus Dei, but everyone knows it was Life is Life. I think it was a cover version, right, originally?
I think it's just, I thought it was just a different version.
Oh, was it? Okay, like tweaked by them, made it a little bit Germanic maybe, but I remember seeing it on TV in like 87 and I just thought, my God, these lot are mad. And I was like a very impressionable teenager when I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, I love them, they're really mental. I like mental things. So yeah, that was Lie Back, which I think, am I saying that right? Lie Back?
I say
You say Lie Back.
Lie Back?
Okay, let's go with Lie Back.
I got to check them out at WGT one time, and it was a pretty intense show.
Wow. Yeah, they're very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So before that, I played Skinned with a track called Columbine. Again, it's another project that is, I just think it is so current. And when you see the video and you tie the video with the song, it just all comes together in just what, it just blows your mind. For me, I'm just very excited by Skinned at the minute. I think they're just amazing. So yeah, that's recently released. I can't remember. I think the last couple of weeks ago it got released. Quite a shocking video, obviously, because of the whole Columbine story. Shocking,
Yeah.
So she always sings about serial killers. That's her thing. It's like that's what she does. So great track. Absolutely adored it. Loved it. So I played that, and then before that I played a track called Body Moves by a band called Fused. Fused, a UK band. They self-released through Bandcamp. Kind of synthpop, 80s. Again, kind of things I really like. So
yeah, I like their stuff.
And what I love about him as well, he does all the artwork, he does all the designs for the CDs, he makes them himself. He kind of, he gets them sent off to the factory. They're all lovely die-cut sleeves, and just really he puts a lot of kind of effort into it, and it shows. It's just a very good product. So that was Fused with a track called Body Moves. And then we started my set with the new single. Nothing But a Void. New single. It's out on Friday the 13th, quite aptly. It's ourselves, Massive Ego, and Blue Tangle. There's loads of remixes in there from people like Rob Dust, who we mentioned earlier. Omnimar as well, who Tom played in the set. They do one of the remixes. Scott in our band, he's done his own mix for it. And Orga, our friends in the UK, Orga, they have done a remix as well. And yeah, it's out on Friday the 13th.
Cool. Nice. Awesome.
Video drops on the same day. It's all very exciting. I can't contain myself.
I'm excited about it. So yeah, it's gonna be great. We're very excited about it, actually.
Well, I mean, I was kind of interested. Was it from the tour with Blue Dingle you did, what prompted you and Chris to work together on this new track?
It kind of came just from us all being in lockdown, to be honest. A couple of months ago. I mean, it's happened so quickly. He kind of sent a track over, backing track. He didn't have any lyrics for it at the time. I kind of quickly wrote, lyrics came to me quite quickly. And then next thing, I recorded my vocals, sent the vocal back to Germany. He recorded his vocal. Then we got some remixes together and shot the video. I shot ours here, he shot his there, joined it together. It happened so quickly in a matter of about 4 months in total. So, but it all came out of the lockdown situation. That basically we didn't have any shows. Everything was getting cancelled, and it was a case of let's just do something together. So I was very pleased when he got in touch, because I was kind of going through a kind of, oh God, woe is me at that point. I was thinking, what are we going to do? And I wasn't particularly feeling like I wanted to start any new music at that point. But because he'd already sent like a backing track that was nearly fully formed, all I had to do was do some writing and write some lyrics, and yeah, it fell together really quickly. So
Awesome.
Cool. And also, we can, from my impressions, you're a big club kid, growing up and, going out, and I think, which influenced you. Was it, what bands influenced you to bring your sound? I mean, I kind of hear like maybe some Pete Byrne or even Culture Club.
Watch out, here I come, ow.
But just, and along with some of this, smoother synths like, either Japan or Duran Duran and stuff like that.
All of those things. It was a great big hot pot of influences, just all mixed together. I mean, you mentioned Pete. I was lucky enough to kind of go to clubs with him. The B-Man just had times.
Oh my God, that must have been exhausting, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I'm quite quiet anyway. I mean, I'm not hugely like, I talk for a lot, but he can definitely fill the gaps. So yeah.
I was lucky to see him one time when he came to Tampa, and that was it. But but I heard, I thought it was nice. I heard, like, was it Boy George flipped for his funeral costs and all that, which was nice of him.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the same with Steve Strange. George was at Steve's funeral and helped with the casket, and they were family. So they were always going to look out for each other. And what brilliant people we had to look up to. You know, for me, growing up in the northeast of England, you know, I needed colour, I needed stimuli, and I had people like Pete Burns, Boy George, Nick Rhodes, Duran Duran, all of these people. So obviously, it's always been a rub off for me. I just think I had the best teenage years, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in the, you know, the cooking pot of all that stuff.
Yeah, good times.
Right.
I mean, you mentioned Pete as well, and it's funny because the new single with Butangle, it's kind of, I think the delivery is quite Pete Burns. It's quite anarchic and like, in your each other and like, you know,
in your face, cattiness, you know.
Yeah. So
and
I quite like that's how it worked out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, haters gonna hate is like one of my favorite songs you've ever done. It's like still gets spins all the time. Yeah, I love that whole abrasiveness of it, you know, and like the barking at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
My turn for a question?
Yeah, we're almost answering another question, yeah.
Okay. So is there like a band that you've collaborated with or shared the stage with that impressed you that you want people to know about?
Ooh.
Or any band that you've come across that you want people to know about that probably wasn't in your DJ set.
I mean, there's a lot of UK bands that are new, up and coming, that are really exciting. People like Augur, who I mentioned earlier, who kind of, you know,
I love Augur.
Augur's good.
From Augur, they're great, and you know, they're young and they've got so much kind of like whoa, and that's what I love. So I get excited by watching people like them, you know, because it is really fresh and exciting. And I still kind of, I kind of look at them and think, right, I'm nicking a bit of that. I'm going to nick that idea, you know. I kind of, it's an influence, you know. Get influences from everywhere. So they're really good. The only band I've never kind of been on stage with yet is Duran Duran, who are my favourites. But that will happen one day. I'm convinced.
I think that's a perfect opener for Duran Duran on tour.
I think we'd be quite good. Yeah, I think we'd be
complement each other.
Yeah, they're like a party band. I think we're a party band. You know, I don't think people kind of look at us and take us terribly serious. But, we're a party band. You know?
Except I think Nick Rhodes charging £600 for his new book's a little too much.
Actually, correction, it was £300. It was £300, which is probably in dollars is probably what, $400 or something.
Yeah.
No, I think you're thinking of Depeche Mode, which was like
it was 900 or something like that.
Yeah. You know, I thought for about a second, should I buy the new Nick Rhodes book? And I thought, no, even like £300, it's a lot of money. So, no, I'm not buying it.
Photographs of Static on television.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Paradise.
I can no longer hear.
Good job. Good job.
Can you turn it up a little bit? Where right here? No, which one? I can't find it.
Top button.
Okay. Yeah, that
Ryan's
works.
stuffy arm comes in and.
Yeah, I'm loving the random arms. They're fantastic.
Mark,
yes.
Seriously though, I love both your the two albums you released so far on Olive Line Records. They're phenomenal. Do you have a favorite? Like, was your the most recent album? What was it? Church of
The Malfunction.
Malfunction. That's what it was.
I think
you like that one more than the first album?
Yeah, I think they're both very different. I think the second one we really wanted to go harder. I think the first one was very kind of 80s synth pop and, you know, heavily influenced by that. I think the second one we wanted to be a little bit more scene orientated and, you know, make it harder sounding. We're writing the third one now. Where that's going to go, I haven't a clue. So we'll have to see.
I did notice that like the first album was more, like you said, there was more synth pop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate genres. Synth pop, dance elements, or alternative sounding a little bit more. The second album was a little harsher, a little more. You did a cover of Military Fashion. Was it Military Fashion Show you did on the second one? Yeah, for Man One, which was a big club hit over here in Florida. I love from the.
The only reason
I'm sorry.
that cover was because we kind of met him. We've met Steve a few times, and he was kind of so lovely. You know, no pretense whatsoever. He just sat on my knee one night for about 2 hours backstage, we were just chatting, you know, and it was lovely. And I just kind of thought, it's funny, I didn't plan on doing a cover of theirs, but then Scott in the band kind of started tinkering with Military Fashion Show on the way. He was like catching a bus back to the airport and back to London.
Right.
He was tinkering away on that track, and then it was like, okay. I mean, I probably wouldn't have picked that track to cover because I think everyone knows it, it's too obvious, but we did it anyway.
It's fun.
Yeah, I think it's good sometimes to do that. You know?
See, yeah, I think people sometimes get the wrong impression of Steve Nagahavi, but I think, like, I only met him one time, but he seemed like a very nice individual.
Absolutely.
You know, very,
really
yeah.
friendly, really welcoming. Yeah, I liked him a lot. So, yeah.
I like the first album, Kate is in the State. That's a good one. I know, isn't that about the model, correct?
It is indeed Kate Moss. Yeah.
Yes. I like Kate Moss. I just like her just because she's a good model. That's why. I know no other reason.
She's often in the State as well, so it kind of fitted, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a good
Falling
song.
out of nightclubs at 3 o'clock in the morning, being papped. That's what that was all about, you know, fame and the downside of fame, and you know.
All right, so from the first album you did, which was Beautiful Suicide, which I absolutely loved. I love both of your albums, but Beautiful Suicide just like hit me like a pair of bricks because it was such an amazing album from a band I never heard of before. You had done, besides I Idolize You, which was your big single that you put on the album. The song Dead Silence Rising. Or no, Rise. I'm sorry, Rise. This track, Rise. I absolutely love that off the second disc.
Right.
What,
Yeah. That was that was me trying to be kind of really hard, you know, because obviously the rest of the album was like an 80s synthpop vibe. I think that track I really wanted to try and do like an industrial track because obviously we were on a well-known industrial label. That was me just kind of fitting into that category a little bit. But yeah, I think it gave me a good taste for the second album for how I wanted it, you know, to move on. So good. I'm glad you liked it.
No, it was really good because, you know, I'll tell you this, Mark. Honestly, I've been in the scene since the I don't know, way too long. But anyway, so as long as I've been around, normally most artists' albums don't really hit me very much, especially on the first listen. But when you put out Beautiful Suicide, the album like instantly was like the first listen, it was like awesome, absolutely awesome. So I could tell that, you know, you were special because most bands, again, not that I'm not dissing bands, but it's just like I've listened to so many albums over the years that I guess I've become numb to hearing music. But if something catches me like right away like that, you know, I know it's special. So that was like something I just was like, wow, it's amazing, you know. And yeah, and you know, your follow-up was just, you know, like you said, a step up because it was a different sound, but still extremely catchy. You know, great tracks. You know, and yeah, I love it. Very good. Everything's been great.
I think because we'd struggled because we've been going for like 25 plus years before we got signed to Out of Line. I think we were, because I wanted it so much and I'd struggled for it for so many years. And prior to signing with the label, we've been self-releasing, we've been putting things on, you know, compilation albums. We've signed to small dance labels in the UK. I've been putting things out, but not getting anywhere with anything, you know. So finally, once we got to a decent label, I just felt so kind of like, oh my God, I have to make this right, and I have to kind of, you know, it just felt so nice to kind of have a bit of support, and I think that kind of poured out in the songs and what I was writing about at that point. So thank you. I'm glad it means a lot to you, you know.
No, very good. Yes, I love, you know. So where does Massive Eagle go from here? I know you have the new single coming out, which we're really excited about with Blood Eagle, obviously. That's awesome. And I can't wait to hear it. I haven't heard the show yet, so once I hear it, I'm gonna be like probably in heaven once we get to hear that track. But what's the future for the band moving forward?
Well, obviously everything from this year got pushed to next year, so we've got loads of lovely festivals. Fingers crossed if it's going to happen. Next year's going to be good for doing live shows. So we're writing. We've got quite a big announcement to come early next year, maybe January or something, because things are changing. I can't say any more because I'm sworn to secret.
Sure.
But
Sure.
things are changing, and it's very exciting. So January, I think we'll make an announcement. Yeah.
Right, and then maybe one of these days.
I'm such a tease. I should just tell you. Oh, I'll leave it there. I'll just tease.
No, but the mystery is kind of interesting. So it makes it more like, it gives like a cloud of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But anyways, cloud of mystery is always good though for everything. You don't want to like give too much out. So, and maybe someday we can get you over to the States. That would be really nice to have you play in the States.
Yeah. I'd love to. I mean, the paperwork alone looks like a real big mountain that you have to kind of climb. I hear lots of other people saying, "Oh, it's impossible to get in," and who knows? I think Biden is going to change everything. It's going to be amazing. He's probably going to invite all of the industrial and goth bands in the rest of the world to come to America, to play at the castle. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, it's all changed.
I do hope that it gets a little easier for bands to come in eventually. Yes, I would agree, because I think that that's something that we need over here more, is more of an exposure to additional bands outside the handful of bands that usually will tour over here. And there's not, it is only a handful of bands normally. So it would be really nice to have other artists come over and actually expose people to some of that music live. Because I got to see you luckily with Tom at the Wave Gothic Trip. I know Tom's seen you since then in England, but it was amazing. A great show, in a nice little venue there at the Moritz Bastei. Yeah, it was a great time. Great time.
Because I saw Tom at Electroworks, the last show we did at Electroworks. And again, nice little sort of intimate little venue. Lovely,
There was a great lineup too.
I could see your smiling face from the stage. That's how small it is. Lovely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, well, I mean, Mark, I want to thank you very much because, it's been you've been on this show twice before, and that was through DJ mixes. Yeah. We never had a chance to actually see you in person, which is a treasure because I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. I mean, I almost had a chance to meet you in Germany, but because I'm so old, I couldn't get my ass out of the hotel room at the point that you were ready to meet me. So probably that's my own fault.
You raided the minibar, that's why. You raided the minibar, Thursday, didn't make it in time.
More than likely, it was like, it was like that scene in with that movie with Denzel Washington where he raided the minibar. Yeah, unfortunately. Flight! That was it. Thank you, Mouse. Look, Mouse.
Denzel Washington movies.
Yeah, there you go. So, so thank you so much, and it means much to me. I know it means much to everybody on this show as well, Mouse and Gold, that you're on here. So we thank you very much, and tell Chris I said hi. Tell Chris that I love him, and I've sent messages and everything,
letters,
and proposals.
Nothing.
Tap on his window at night. Tapping on his window. Tap. No, I'm sure you're listening to the show, and Mark.
Chris, return my calls.
So, all right. Well, we got one more set left. Mouse is going to finish off the show. Mark's going to stick around with us, and then we'll see you in a few minutes.
Yep.
Cool.
Come back.
All right. Bye.
Come back.